You fucking did it, baby. They got no fucking clue what it took to get here. Since birth. Yeah. So blessed be the fruit of thy womb. My mom's got pregnant and I'm too with a tycoon about my business. A couple states I gotta fly through to kill it. To get that paper means a rapper gotta die soon. Fish out of water. Never seen it without a squad rolling through your city deeper than the fault lines. The all-time greatest navigator in the navigator pocket stuffed with a single stack and a stack of paper. Thoughts been irregular. Yeah, I'm afraid of being lost in a state of chasing crops unattainable. Rain dancing, rampant superstition to the sky. Look for water when I really should be digging. Yeah, it's been under my nose this whole time. I wish you well, under my toes since 09. That's a gold mine. I'ma blow the lid off the bedrock. Fuck the world and birth another morn out of wedlock. Better not fuck around with me, I'm desperate. Never not running out the green, yeah, I spent it. Get a job, I'm a MC and I wreck shit. Set a fire, anybody scheming against me. I'm getting money, start asking what I can do for you. Bitches in my pocket like a fucking marsupial. I fill the piggy bank, chuck it under the floorboards until we get enough to get the fuck about the North Shore. I know we're meant for more, down in the core of myself. That's why I go to war, so we can spoil ourselves. Taking care of my moms, yeah, she the one who deserve it. Forgetting where I'm from, that would be a disservice. I murdered just to get my family out the mobile home. They was the only ones who made sure I didn't go it alone. So when I make a purchase, there ain't nothing but furbished. Brand new boutiques for the shampoo. Trips to better weather, vacations that's never lampooned. Everything going off without the hitch, the mission sails smooth. And I don't care who, if they go try rocking the boat, we toss them off tied to something that makes sure they're not gonna float. Fish out of water, dog, I'm not gonna choke. This evolution, I've been through it, turn my gills into lungs. To hop up in the mic and spit the illest shit ever wrote. Kill the version of me telling you that these pills will be fun, motherfucker. Fish out of water. Still breathing, motherfucker. Still breathing. After all this time, yeah. So blessed be the fruit of thy womb. My mom's got pregnant and I'm too with a tycoon about my business. A couple states I gotta fly through to kill it. To get that paper means a rapper gotta die soon. Fish out of water.
Next time the music ends, they'll be able to hear you.
Right.
Thank God you know how to use a microphone.
Check.
Thank God you know how to use a microphone.
Yeah.
What's going on, man?
What's up?
That
What's
was
up?
man. I don't know what's wrong with the StreamYard bullshit, but usually the video will play full screen. I don't know what was going on there, but man, I've been listening to some of this new album and I'm digging it, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And you were just telling me that. By the way, hi Evan.
Hey, what's up, Tyler?
Maybe you can introduce yourself.
Hey, what's up? Still Evan, rapper extraordinaire.
And you, like I said, where can they find your album on like Spotify?
Yeah, everywhere. Yeah, if you search Still Evan, the name of the album's Fish Out of Water. It's on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, pretty much anywhere.
All right. That's, I'll put the links below as well. But the song that I just listened to, I really enjoy it, and I really enjoyed like the hook on the mouth and some of the cooler aspects, and you did a really good job.
Appreciate that,
Yeah,
man.
You
Yeah.
did a really good job. But welcome everybody to
Hey.
to the Sunday podcast. We're here with my main man Evan, and you know I think we've had you on
Once, twice.
once or twice.
I think it was
before.
once. I think we talked about a second time, and then something happened, and then
Oh, I think you weren't vaccinated yet. Yes, you're right.
that's what it was.
You
Yeah,
weren't vaccinated yet,
yeah,
and we didn't like. I don't like the virtual thing is cool,
right,
but I know you already,
right.
and you know there's something about being in the same room.
Yeah,
You know, doing a show where it's like more like a conversation. So
right.
I mean, I enjoy this. I really do. So thank you for coming.
Yeah, of course. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, man. So we were just talking earlier. You haven't seen Dune yet.
I haven't seen Dune, and it's crazy because
Oh, what's wrong?
I've been well, yeah. So I've been looking for. I was supposed to go see it on Friday. Plans fell through. And you know, I have HBO Max, so I'm like,
don't do it.
You know, but I know I need to wait. So we're gonna go on Tuesday. We're gonna see it in IMAX. We're just gonna get the whole
Okay.
experience.
Okay, because this isn't. All right, some movies like I do exaggerate a little bit.
Right.
I'm like, you don't watch it at home.
Right.
You could get away with it.
Right.
Not something like Godzilla vs Kong. Or none of these movies actually.
Right.
But like there are some movies that you can get away with seeing at home, especially like on a TV like I have.
Right.
Right. But Dune is so grand,
Right.
big, beautiful. That really I've watched it both ways.
Okay.
There is something that is gone when you watch it at home.
That's good to know. Yeah. So, and that's the thing. So I read the book, and I loved it, but that was even just getting into the story and you realize like how grand everything is, like all the scene, every setting is the scope of it's just so huge that I'm like, if I'm watching it on my 50-inch screen at home with no surround sound,
Something's
it's
gone.
Yeah, exactly.
There's an aspect to it that's just gone at that point.
Yeah. You need that epicness, that loud.
Oh my God. I saw it. I saw it over the weekend for the third time technically.
Oh,
And
Jesus.
I mean, anyway, God, I love it. I gave it a 9.3. And
Oh, wow. Okay.
I gave the Snyder Cut a 9.3. So they're technically
Oh,
both
right.
tied for my number one 2021 film.
And he's one of my favorite directors, Dennis Villeneuve. Help me pronounce his last name. Villeneuve.
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 But I've every single one of
Denny,
his
and
movies.
it's Denny, not Dennis.
Denny. Okay.
Yeah, no one. A lot
good.
of people don't know that.
All right.
It's Denis.
Awesome.
Denis Villeneuve. Like
So
I thought
for-
it was just like the crude Americanization was just Dennis Villanueva.
right.
That's that's Americanized version of that. So
Well, it's good to know for when I never meet him, so I don't butcher his name.
he's done some of the best movies, man.
Dude,
Blade Runner,
so good.
Arrival.
So good.
So Arrival still blows my mind to this moment.
He did Sicario.
Mm.
I mean,
Sicario. I really didn't even remember he did that one
Yeah.
for a long time. And then I'm looking at his filmography and I'm like, he did do Sicario.
yeah.
Because both of those movies are up on my list.
Even Prisoners.
Prisoners is one I've only seen like partly.
Yeah,
So
that was one
that's
that
Jake Gyllenhaal and
yeah, huge Jackman.
yeah.
Yeah. But he's great. I mean, like he knows how to really like capture a vibe, and so that's why when I found out he was doing the new Dune movie, I'm like, thank God.
Yeah, and here's to hoping that they do a part 2 with him, because I know part 2 is going to happen. Rumor has it there's going to be 4 of them.
Right. Well, there's the 4 main books, right? Oh, I gotta see the first.
There's like 10 books.
Well, right. Well, he keeps going. Like there's well, actually, sorry. There's 6 main books written by
I forget the guy's name too. So
yeah.
don't worry.
Yeah. Anyway, but then his son and another
Continued
guy
it.
picked it up and kept it going with more. Yeah.
So what I've gotten out of the guy that we have at Warner Brothers is they want to do 4 films. So they want to keep it on the main trilogy
Yep.
and then kind of milk it and break the last book into 2 parts. So 4 films based on 3 books.
So, all right, and this is just why I need to see this movie, because the book is broken up into three books.
Yeah.
So
So I don't get it, because when he was telling me, I'm like, isn't there like 10 books?
yeah,
But again, There's also a video game that I didn't know about.
Oh,
Did you
I
know
didn't- I
that?
did. I had no idea.
There's a video game I had no idea about.
How would that even be a game?
Not sure. Not sure. Not sure. But the kid that rents a room here was telling me, he's like, oh yeah, I played the Dune video game. I'm like, what are you talking about, Dune video game? What do you do? Just run around in the sand pit all day?
Yeah, exactly. Avoid, don't get
eaten by the
a
big
worm.
worm.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But
Man, I gotta see how this movie, because it just depends on where it ends in the story
yeah,
to what the next one's gonna be. Because I'm about to start reading the second, book. So,
oh yeah. So, I mean, theoretically, right now you could, you could be reading a book with each film, which would be kind of cool.
that would be kind of
That'd be
cool.
Kind of cool.
Because I didn't want to start reading the second book until I watched the movie.
Okay.
So we shouldn't do spoilers because I'm just like curious and I don't want anything sort of spoiled for me either. But
There's the funny part is I don't know if anything's going to be a spoiler if you've read it.
right.
Because I think from what I've heard from other people, it sticks pretty true.
Okay.
To things that happen.
Okay.
So like your main plot points go down. Paul having the flashbacks.
Yep.
To not the flashbacks.
The flash forwards. Yeah.
Sideways things.
Yeah.
To her character.
Yes.
The girl character.
Yep.
The one that Zdenya's playing.
Yes.
And
Channy.
Channy.
Channy. Yeah.
I don't think they actually
Chaney.
say it.
They might not.
Because there's so many names in that movie that I'm like,
and they're just so weird.
And they're just so
Yeah,
weird, except Paul.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
He's the
Isn't
only
that so
one.
fun? Well, and Jessica, right, is his
Yeah,
mom, right?
So they have pretty like American names actually. Because what's the other guy's name?
Duncan, Idaho.
Duncan, Idaho.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're from like the year 22 something,
right.
and you're calling yourself Duncan, Idaho. But Jason Momoa, awesome in it.
Yeah, Duncan, Idaho is the only character that is in all of the main books.
Oh, is that true?
It is true. So if there's some, and I know in Dune, there's assumptions made about Duncan, Idaho, but he is the only one that they keep bringing back because he just turned out to be, I guess, a fan favorite in the 60s.
Damn. We'll have to talk about that another time.
Yeah, we will. I know what you're thinking.
Oh, okay.
Stuff happens.
Okay. And I know this movie could take it out of the park.
Right.
There's nothing that can't happen.
Right.
You got one family that can literally talk you into doing whatever you want.
Right.
And then you have, these brutal, hairless savages.
Right.
That their leader is a 20-foot tall blob that like can float through the air.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Right.
It's they're things can happen.
Right.
It's it just makes me think because again I haven't read anything.
Right.
I haven't read it. I haven't played a video game. I don't know the lore, but
right.
seeing it the way it happened, they made it so it's going to be like a jaw drop moment then.
Right.
Which again, I guess that's cool.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he changed a couple of things too. Denny.
Denis.
Yeah. So like Liet Kynes is the sort of like planetarian, the ecologist or the judge, as they call him. Sometimes in the movie, it's a female character. In the book, it was a male character. So I know he took some liberties with it.
Okay.
So I'm interested to see it. I'm excited. I really can't wait because the book was
See,
just
if I was
incredible.
you, I would just like go right now. I wouldn't even be here.
I know. Well, then someone's gonna be very mad at me for seeing it without them because we made a pact. Like we're gonna go see it together. It's gonna be date night, bro date night.
Yeah.
So, man, oh man,
it's out of this world, man, and I can't recommend it enough.
All
Did
right,
you
good.
see Venom?
Yeah, I did.
Did you saw the second Venom?
I did not see Venom 2 yet.
Oh, okay.
Is it better than Venom 1, the first?
No, they're both utterly trash.
No,
They're both trash.
I thought there were some redeemable moments in the first movie, but there were
The only good thing about it is there's an after credit scene in the second one that changed everything.
really.
Yeah. And I haven't really talked about it a lot,
Yeah.
but they basically brought Venom into
what Venom actually is.
yeah, he's supposed to have like a Spider-Man.
Right.
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 So
Good.
it was just a big moment. And I watched it again the other night. I watched it I I think like for just a second time, but the post credit scene, like the film is really bad. It's bad. It's bad. But the post credit scene literally is why I paid to go see it again.
Right.
I don't know, man. They need to smarten up. They leaned into like the silliness
Right.
and like the Venom-y up part of it. So
Right.
Venom takes over a lot of it.
Right.
But the villain was lackluster. Like Carnage is one of the best villains there is.
Right.
And they totally didn't hit it on the head. It was just a boring movie.
You gotta hate it when they like castrate like a guy who's just like, you know, you get so excited that he's going to be in a movie and then you get it and it's like, well, that fell flat. That's
yes,
just the worst.
I can think a lot of times that happened,
Right.
especially with Marvel movies.
Yep.
Marvel movies have a track record of subpar villains, but
Right.
great heroes. Like
Right. It's like the Mandarin. Like
the original one. Oh
Yeah.
God, terrible.
come on.
Whoa! Did you see Shang-Chi? All right, that's it for today, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
We're-
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap it up here.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Yeah. Shang-Chi's another. I would recommend Shang-Chi. I'd recommend
Okay.
watching it.
Okay.
You have a lot of watching to do.
I do. Well, it's one of those things where like I go into these like sort of like it's like waves. Like there's like a point in time where I'm like, I'm watching everything. Like all the Marvel and DC. Like I'll go into it'll be like a month straight of like nothing but Marvel. And then it'll be, you know, a couple of weeks of DC because they didn't stretch it out into 20 years worth of content. You know, and then I'll be like, oh, it's, you know, Harry Potter season and I'll beast all that. You know, it's like, so it's just one of those things where lately, you know, a lot of this, so we've just been watching a lot of like horror movies and
Yeah.
you know, getting in the
And
Halloween vibe.
I mean, how long did it take you to do this latest thing, that latest
Oh,
album?
Man, well, it kind of flowed. It was like I did kind of both the last one and this project at the same time, so it kind of flowed into each other. The first one I produced most of the stuff myself. The second one was with another guy, made all the music. So you know, it has been probably most of the year doing music, promoting music. Then the music video took up a lot of time and money and effort, and so
Why don't you talk a little bit about the video?
we'll talk a little bit about the
Who
video.
made it?
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's
So I mean, you made it with
Right.
someone else. So who is this other person?
Yeah, it's a guy by the name of Connor Hayes. He works for this production company, Project 2 Studios. They do a lot of great stuff. Dudes like Joyner Lucas, Token, a bunch of other names from around here. And they've been absolutely killing it. And they have a way of like making things cinematic. It's never really like a typical rap video with them. So that's why I kind of sought them out. Because you can run the risk of just being like, I'm a rapper. This is a rap video. Look at me. We rented a car and we like paid these like people from Craigslist to pretend to be my friends, you know? So I obviously didn't want to do that because I'm a huge movie guy. I love stories and I just wanted it to be something weird and different. And I didn't care if people liked it or not. I just wanted to try to make something, you know.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked the different feel of it.
Yeah, I wanted it to definitely have a vibe. And so these guys did a great job and Connor took the reins on, you know, shooting everything, editing everything. He really took all of my ideas into consideration. And he added his own sort of flair because he knows what he's doing. I would be lost. So Project 2 Studios, Connor Hayes, they did a great job. They busted out the Red Dragon camera. I don't know if you've heard of
I
that.
have. I know. Zach used it a lot.
Yeah. Oh my God. There are some shots in there in that video where everything's just so crispy clean. And you're just like, I get it. Some people are like, oh, I shoot all my videos on my iPhone. And they work.
You can.
And you can.
You can.
But then I saw that and there was actually a funny
especially the new iPhones, like
the
13.
Oh yeah. It's insane.
It's insane.
Yeah.
But you'll never get something like working on a legitimate film made for film camera.
Right. And
So
there's a whole difference with depth of field and just colorization. It just everything, the amount of information that it captures that
Mhm.
you can then when you're doing like post processing and stuff like that, you know, there's just way more you can do. And there was a moment when, you know, when we were shooting it and, you know, I'm on a boat, I'm on a dock, we're around water. There's like this camera that costs
yeah,
more than my car, you know, and we're handing it off like between people, and it was like cradling a baby, really. It's like,
yeah,
don't drop this
yeah,
thing, you know.
yeah.
It was great
Do they
though.
have rigs for it and stuff? Like,
Yeah, there were a couple of shots that we did, but there was a lot of it where it had to be handheld. So
yeah, it gets tricky.
it was really it was
I like
tough.
the rigs that like it makes it like a handle.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And you can pan easy.
Yeah, yeah. There was a little there. We didn't do a whole lot of Steadicam stuff because once again, I wanted it to be sort of like uh, I wanted to kind of feel creepy and weird, and so things can't be super smooth. It
Right.
kind of needs to move around a little bit. So so we didn't do a whole lot of that. So yeah, there were a lot of situations where he's like, "All right, hold on, let me make sure
Yeah.
that this thing's not going to end up in the river." You know?
If you don't mind,
Yes.
if you wanted to go for like the creepy vibe,
Mhm.
why didn't you do it at night?
We did. All right, so we actually
Because it takes place during the day.
yes,
noticed,
so we actually
Like New Hampshire at night.
Y-
Woo!
it's all right, so it's really but then you start getting into the realm of like,
Now you need all lighting. You need
and that's where the money starts coming in, because the guy was like, listen, we could do whatever you want. You know, they've done videos where the budget's $100,000 over a
Oh,
2-day
God.
shoot. You know what I mean? And I don't have $100,000.
No.
So what we did is we actually showed up on scene at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And then once day started to break, I think it was like 4:35 a.m. we started shooting, because I did want it to have that sort of like blue, dark, sort of like really early morning misty. So we started shooting a lot of the scenes as fast as we could to make sure that he could figure out the lighting and the colorization. And
yeah,
then
because the daylight, the thing about daylight is always changing.
exactly.
Always.
So what we had to do is get almost like figure out that's the setting, that's what everything needs to look like, and then we're going to finish shooting throughout the day. Again, I couldn't afford to do more than a day's worth of shooting, and then he actually did a pretty good job of keeping everything looking like it was in that sort of early morning time frame.
Right.
But
Because even it's really the trouble would be from like 12 to 3-ish,
right.
right?
Yeah.
Where it's like high sun sky.
Exactly.
Anything before and after that, you could twist a little bit and
Exactly.
make it look like it's morning, even though it's turning into night.
Yeah.
Right?
So we started shooting right before 5 a.m. and we wrapped like at 10:30. And that was just one of those things. The biggest part of it was storyboarding and making sure if I got you for 6 hours today, you know, and you're taking all my money,
Right. Yeah.
like we mapped out every little shot, and it really felt almost like
A movie.
a movie where you're like these are the most important
Did
things.
you like
that we need.
storyboard it?
Yeah,
Oh my
legit.
God.
Yeah. So we had drawings and pictures. And
See, I want to go back. I want to do more. I want to get back into doing stuff like that.
oh man, it was so fun. It was honestly, it's kind of rewarding for somebody like me who I'm really, you know, I like writing music, I like making beats and producing, and then stuff like that is a different sort of satisfaction where you have this idea.
Yeah. Artistically, it's a whole different realm.
Yeah, it's not just coming up with the idea. It's actually like the logistics of how is every little piece going to look. And then you can kind of really like hone in on the details and say, okay, this is going to be a wide shot. This is going to be close up. This is going to be, you know, done in this part. And we need to make sure that we shoot this before this because I'm doing makeup over here. And then it's going to be different if we shoot it later. So it was really all that kind of stuff it satisfied a different part of the brain, and I really enjoyed it.
It's like I really do miss it sometimes. Like just plain, because I like to edit. A lot of people don't, but
Right.
I do,
Right.
because that's where I can be the most creative. Because once, like the way I usually see it is, I can't film too much, but I can film not enough.
Right. Exactly.
Right. So I mean, I don't know how they charge like with that kind of stuff, but I would just do any idea that I had or that you had, like film it all,
Right.
and then because you can leave a lot of you
Yeah.
can leave it on the floor,
Yeah.
but you can't make it up.
Right. And there was a lot
Unless
left on
I
the
mean
floor.
you can make it up, but you need to have
Right.
more money,
Well,
which
right.
is definitely tricky.
And that was the thing, is that it was really kind of one of those things where the guy was like, we did work out a rate, but he's like, if I got to come back out, just take this number and multiply it by 2,
Right.
because he was like, with the editing part, and that's one of those things when you're dealing with somebody who does it professionally for a living, editing 3 minutes isn't a whole lot of work for the guy, because he's like, as long as we have all the shots, I'm gonna drop it all in, and then we're gonna just chop this thing up real quick. We didn't want to do any weird transitions or effects or anything like that either, because I wanted to be more cinematic than stylized, like for like as a rap video. So that part was quick. And so we shot everything. And then there was a lot of cool stuff that like didn't make it in the video because you have 3 minutes to fit it all in.
And it's
and if you start cramming in too much, then you lose the story. Then the main points get overshadowed by like, well, I want to make sure that this cool shot of like this tree and I'm coming around.
Sometimes you have to cut some good stuff.
Yeah. And that's why I liked Snyder Cut, is because that's where they were like, we're going to leave as little on the floor as possible, and we're going to give everybody everything just so that they can see all the ideas. But if you can imagine, I mean, how much of that in the original version.
Imagine the director's cut of your thing.
I wish it was a positive. I wonder
if he would give you all the footage, I could make you a director's cut. If he would literally give you all the footage, I'd make you a director's cut.
I think I might ask him for it.
If you ask him, I'll mess with him.
Because what is he going to do? Delete it? I mean, he might.
He might.
He
But I'm serious though. I would love to do that.
I think that'd be fun.
That would be really fun.
Well, because you could do the thing, you cut the music out at one point, you have like a sort of like scene in the middle. They do that all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
So if he could consider it owned by him,
right?
That's the only issue. The actual footage of it.
Right. Exactly.
Did you have to use any like? I didn't see it. Was there any like tagged on it, like made by? Did he want you to do anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, we did put like we sort of like put their stamp at the end of the video, and then he's credited in the credits and the description and everything like that. But he's been really cool about stuff. I mean, he's really laid back when it comes to a lot of that. I think this is another one of those situations where if it was one of those videos that he's worked on that gets 50 million plus streams and views on YouTube and stuff like that, where they're making money from that.
Yeah.
He might care a little bit more, but we're not doing 50 million. So
not in a week.
No,
it'd be over time. There's a chance.
We're getting there. I mean, it's picking up some steam, but maybe he would, maybe he wouldn't. I don't know. I'd have to reach out to him about
that'd be really fun.
That's another piece of this stuff that I haven't really got.
I have a bunch of editing softwares that I would love to like break out and actually get used.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh, that would really be fun.
I'm gonna reach out to him. I'm actually, you know what? I'm gonna text him right now.
See, ask him what he's doing with the files. Like if he's just gonna get rid of them, all right, we'll send them to us first.
Right.
And
because he dumped everything on, because
we won't make anything that like we would still have to credit him,
of course,
but we wouldn't make anything that would be bad.
No.
So I don't know. It's something you could do.
I'm gonna shoot him a text and just say what's happening with all that.
Yeah, because a lot of people they need because you'll do it on a SD card, and then you're not gonna buy a new SD card just because you want. Usually, you're gonna erase what's there,
right,
and move on.
Well, here's the thing too: is with the Red Dragon kit, their cards are actually, it's like how Apple only has like a charger from Apple.
I hate that.
The Red cameras,
they only use a specific.
They only use Red memory cards, and he was like, "That's another one of those things that costs hundreds of dollars."
Oh, geez,
So I know that thing's wiped.
Yeah, once you get it on the computer, though, then that's a different story.
We're gonna see what's up.
Figure it out, man.
We're gonna see what's up.
So how long did it take to do the video? Just one day?
One day, 6 hours of shooting, couple of days of editing. We went back and forth on some stuff, and then I went in for the final cut. So you know, and that's really like, that was light. And it was because of the planning, because of the storyboarding, that we were able to like keep it so lean. Because there's guys, big artists that will not do any of that. The director of the music video director.
Yeah, because like I was gonna ask, I feel like typical music videos, they're just like turn the camera on.
Yeah.
How do you, if you don't, because now I do want to know a little bit more. So how do you do like how do you get out there and just pretend? Are you
Yeah,
pretending,
right.
or are you like, do you at least have a radio on?
Yeah. We have a
Okay.
Bluetooth speaker.
Because
and we're-
I don't
yeah.
think I could do it just like, all right, guys, action.
Yeah,
And then
right.
there's no actual sound. You just
Yeah, no, yeah. You're playing it. You play it as loud as you can to like get into it. It definitely takes a couple of like run throughs to kind of be like, all right, like attitude. Like people don't want to just see you be like nervous, like, okay, whew,
yeah.
like shaking off the dust. So you actually really need to get into it. So yeah, you're playing it as loud as you can. And
You want to like make it feel like a concert to yourself, at least.
Exactly. And with other rap videos or music videos that are more traditional, where it might be a scene of them actually like a band playing the music, or
Right, you can get away with that kind of
you
stuff.
know, or a rapper like, you know, with like literal butts like everywhere, you know. Like, you know, it's easier to get into it. This one was tough because it was me and a body double. Shout out to Pat.
Someone did a body double
Yeah,
for you?
well, yeah, because I have to kill myself in the video, right?
Oh,
So I had to have a
okay.
dude, somebody the closest person to my size, you know, that was like available for the day, come and you know, we had to draw my tattoos on his arms and stuff
Oh
like
my
that.
God.
And so there's
That's
scenes
fun.
where I'm like, you know, strangling myself. That's actually this guy Pat. Shout out Pat. He's the best, man. He really put himself out there for this, you know. And then there's parts where I'm naked pretty much, and he didn't have to get naked, but you know, he definitely had to go shirtless and all this stuff. So I really appreciated him on that. But
That's awesome though.
yeah, it was crazy.
It's fun. It's
It was a lot
it's a
of fun.
fun process, man.
It was cool.
Once you forget that, like, because it can seem a little like not intimidating, but like there's just a camera
Yeah,
and you have to, because
Yeah.
it's your money,
right.
it's your time,
Yep.
and
It's my idea. I mean, if the guy wants to, he could say, I'm not putting my name on it because I don't like it. Right. At the end of the day, I'm the one on the hook for it. And it was my first, like, we've done some music videos before with, you know, a very small, not even comparable scale. And yeah, it was nerve wracking.
yeah, because you know it. Now you're like you said on the hook,
Right.
and
Yeah, we woke up at 3 a.m. to make sure we're here on time with a $20,000 camera. And, you know, we had plenty of people. My wife had to do like the makeup part of it. We had guys helping out, moving stuff around. And, you know, my whole team, Ill Supreme and Supreme Corpse guys, you know, Clyde, everybody came out to help out. And it was nerve wracking, man. I got to say. But
next
it
time you
was
do
great.
that, call me. I'd love to help.
Yeah, you
I would
should.
love
Yeah,
to help.
honestly, and that's another.
I come out there and do whatever. Like I don't care. I just like to help put those things together.
You know, it's funny. I think this is like a normal thing too for people to feel apprehensive about asking people for help, right?
Yeah.
Like I felt weird about even asking like the guys that I rap with to come out and help me out with my video. And you shouldn't feel weird about that, right? But isn't that like a normal thing where you're like, oh man, even when you gotta like move your furniture or do anything, it's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to seem needy. And then what if like is it a nuisance? Like It's hard to kind of
Right.
like break through that and realize that like friends are
because
friends.
yeah, because like one day I might ask, hey, can you come help me do something?
Right.
And that's like not a barter system, but like honestly, I just like doing that kind of stuff. I just like
Right.
being there and being like helping something go from not being there to all of a sudden existing.
Right.
It's a really fun process,
Yeah.
and I would love to start doing it again. I've actually been shopping new cameras, like
Nice.
because I got rid of a lot of stuff when I was my drinking days,
Right.
because I was selling things just so I could continue doing what I was doing.
Right.
And I sold off a lot of great stuff.
Worst.
Yeah, but by now they would have been like, they would still have been great, but it would have been like more obsolete.
Right.
But so I've been looking at like new cameras and, you know, do different things that I have ideas for that I want to do, and not be held back.
Right.
So I have a lot of stuff that I can use now, but Yeah, man. Next time, man, hit me up.
I will.
Would love to help out.
It's
so
you know
fun.
what? And I am gonna hit you up. And you know, how funny is it how expensive it is to just have a hobby? Have you ever like gone back and realized?
Yeah.
And have you ever like kicked yourself? I've
Yeah,
done
I've
it too, because
spent-
I've been in situations where I've like, you know, years ago, car getting repoed and stuff like that, and I had to like sell everything. And you
I know.
realize,
Yeah, I mean, we know who each other are.
yeah, we snap. I go back in time and I look at how little I sold things for, and you think about it now, and you're like, I can't believe I sold that microphone for like $20
Yeah.
just to, you know,
Just
just to keep my car for another month.
right.
And then they took it anyway.
And then they took it
And
anyway.
then they took it anyway. You know, oh my
now you
God.
can't drive or
Right,
do your hobby, whatever, you know.
man. So
I've spent over 10,000 on
Oh, yeah.
this in just 1 year on this podcast.
crazy.
Have I got anywhere near that in return? No.
Right,
No.
right.
But I have microphones laying around, cameras laying around, just things that I've gathered. In that cabinet, there's more.
Right.
And each one of the people that does the show with me, I sent them a microphone and a camera.
Right.
And, you know, green screens, holders for said green screens.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Just a lot of stuff, man. And
I think that's like the sort of like the
then I don't like to call it a hobby at that point.
Well, right. You like, this is my passion. This is my thing. It's the same thing with music. And now I have a rule, like, and my wife might be like, when was the last time you actually picked up that guitar? And I'm like, well, I'm not going to sell it, because the last time I offloaded all my stuff, it took me so long to get it all back. And yeah, I know exactly the feeling.
It's tough. It's tough. And so what happens now? Like, what are you gonna do now?
Now it's just like, now I'm doing what I'm doing here. So I'm, you know, I'm pushing everything as much as I can. This is another thing that I've had to teach myself, is that it's okay to promote yourself.
Oh yeah.
I went like the longest time just thinking like something's going to magically drop in my lap. I'm just going to like put music out and do some shows and maybe post on social media every once in a while and whatever. And
no, you almost have to jam it down.
No, you really do need to cram it down people's throats. I've been like every single day posting for, you know, since this stuff started coming out.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
I think we might have talked about this a little bit last time, but the people that you think will like watch it and help you out and like are the least helpful people.
Oh yeah.
Like you could go through your whole Facebook. You could send it one by one to the video to each of them. 1% will watch it.
Exactly. And that's the thing. You start looking at the stats when you get, you know, when you get that sort of creator account or whatever on all these different platforms, and you look and you're like, son of a bitch.
Like, all you guys are all fake.
That's how many clicks I got. That's how many clicks I got from you. And
I have 20,000 Facebook friends. One watched it.
Yeah. Oh my God. And then
all scumbags.
And then you realize, like,
just kidding, you're not all scumbags.
Yeah. But then the ones that actually hit you up and say like, oh, yo, I loved it. And then you look and you see who shared it. You're like, yo, that out of all the people, that was the one I was least likely to expect to, you know, people even like, you know, during the height of the pandemic when everything was kind of shut down, you know, I had a sort of like Cash App tied to my Spotify account, and you could sort of like support artists. And the people that actually like contributed, once again, last people I would ever expect to like help me out. And then you're like looking at like your cousins and your aunts and uncles and your best friends and stuff, and you're like, where are you?
Still doing that?
Yeah. Where are you?
Come on.
You know,
like, you know how many times a day I get asked, like, or not really. That was exaggerating. If like I'll go back to Bill Ricca, they'll be like, oh, I see that you're doing something on Facebook, right? I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, right.
It's like, yeah, no, I just like talk to like cool people.
Right.
And no one listens.
Yeah.
Like, well, we've made audiences outside of that.
Right.
But you really do think that the people closest to you they're gonna lift you up and put you into this other zone. It's not true.
No.
So,
and they're not going to jump on board until they see that like you've been doing it for so long, and then you have this following of other people. That's when everybody
like,
wants
no,
to jump up.
I knew him.
Yeah.
I knew him since like,
you're like, what's the name of my podcast?
Yeah.
What's the name of my podcast then? They're like, Tyler's podcast.
Yeah.
It's the Tyler Cast.
No, that's so funny, man, because it's so true. I know we live in two like, it's like different worlds, but It's not. It's the
You're like
same.
it's at the point now where it's like you're a content creator, right?
Yeah.
You're making online content for people
Yep.
to generate some sort of income somehow. Maybe sell a t-shirt.
Yeah.
You know,
That's one of the things that we like have the hardest time with, because it's different.
right.
It's super different.
Yeah, and I
Do
feel
you do that kind of stuff? Do you?
yeah, I
make-
have, it's like we did normally it was only when I was like performing shows and when I was in the group and on tour, that's when we did most of merch sales, and actually like on tour was like huge. That's like how we like made our money. But
It's like you have to eat.
but now it actually I'm about to put out a whole line of new merch, a new website. Everything's launching right now. So I just wanted to make sure I promote the video first, promote
Yes.
the album next, then start promoting the merch. And then it needs to be something that is going to be something people want to like put on their bodies and wear around, because it can't just say like,
Yeah.
and at first it needs to, your name doesn't mean anything and it needs to be creative. So that's what we've been working a lot on, is like making interesting, fun, cool stuff to put on shirts and hats and stuff like that. So that's all coming soon. And that's probably going to be where most of the money comes from.
Yeah.
you
So
know?
have you thought about now that the world is kind of getting back? I don't know if that's real.
Right.
Would you? I mean, have you consider any live shows? Or
Yeah.
going back out.
Yeah. I've been like,
Is touring the best part of the thing?
I don't know, man. The best part of it for me is just making this stuff and putting it out there and hearing what people think about it. But performing is like this. It's a whole other animal that I do love. Yeah, I've been asked to do some shows. I'm kind of like still on the fence about it. It's not even like this thing about vaccinations or COVID numbers or anything like that. It's just I can see now that when I went on tour and when I was performing every weekend, all the time, like all over New England, across the country, going all over the place, you do get a lot back from that. But I've gotten more from putting focus on online stuff and promoting that way. Number one. Number two is I've seen a couple shows now since the launch of everything, and it's so hit or miss, because there's just like half this population is ready for it, the other half isn't. And so yeah, I've been kind of like not responding to like those requests to like do shows this year, because I'm like, it's almost a wash at this point. I'd rather just
Right.
keep going and focus on
Build it up on both sides, kind of.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's weird, man, and that's like, and that could just be just an incorrect way of thinking on my end. I probably should be out there doing as many live shows as possible, but just seeing some of the performances and some of the shows and the turnouts that I've seen, it's so hit or miss.
We've
And
had a couple people do like live on here.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Not really a fan of it.
yeah. There's a couple people that do it that I'm not gonna watch 45 minutes of like somebody like playing music live.
Even 3 minutes was hard. Like we did it. We
Yeah.
did it's just one song, like
Right,
to intro, basically. Then we'll talk to the person.
right.
And it's just like so hard to set up correctly.
Yeah,
It's hard for someone on the other end of their computer to be like into it,
Right, yeah.
At least that's what I'm thinking.
yeah. I mean, maybe hip hop is different. Maybe there's some stuff that's different about it. I mean, the one thing that we're actually gearing up to do is like these shorter freestyles and stuff like that on live. But it's one of those things where it's all set up now. One of our guys has everything set up so that you can be into mic. It's how we're doing it now. Into mic, on to live. Everything sounds great. It's professional. So he's got that whole setup, and we're thinking in the hip hop world, at least, there is sort of a market, or there is the type of person that wants to see freestyles.
Yeah, that's because that's a whole brand in itself.
It's a whole different, yeah. And so
Yeah.
that's the one thing that we've thought about doing. I've seen other ones where it's an hour-long show. I'm not going to watch the whole thing, even if it's my best friend. I'm going to skip to his, watch some of it, throw it a like and a comment, and I'm going to back out and
Go continue doing what I'm doing.
yeah, taking a poop or whatever it is I'm doing. I'm watching this stuff. So yeah, man, it's tough, and everything's just changed, man. COVID's changed everything. It's changed the way I think about how how I'm doing everything. I've found success doing things differently than I did it in the past. So right now, as far as live shows are concerned, they will be happening. But I'm not going to do it until I feel like I have the best live show, that I can have for people. And
It's almost like a stand-up routine too. You have to form it correctly, right?
it's got to be the
Do you
right
pre-plan everything?
everything.
Like,
Yeah, that's it.
obviously, because the music would have to be
And
there.
since I've rebranded too, I mean, I wouldn't have been able to do a show last month if all I had out was 7 songs. That's 20 minutes long. You can't even do a half-hour set with that. And I'm not going to play old stuff because I'm on to the new. So now I'm
So
finally.
you won't play older? No,
No,
you just cut
it's
ties
done.
with it.
It's dead.
It's dead.
It's dead.
Bury it.
Nah, yeah. I mean, there's some stuff out there that I liked. I've thought about re-releasing a few things, but it's dead to me.
Why did
so
you rebrand?
I was just over it. I just hit this point where I was beating my head against a wall, trying to. I feel like and I could have done it without changing the name or rebranding or anything like that, but I feel like you hit this point where you realize, oh, like something clicks. This is the sound that I'm going for. This is the stuff I want to do. But if I do it under the same brand, then I'm tying all this stuff that doesn't speak to that into this new sort of experience or this new sort of sound that I'm going for. So that's why I was like, I'm rebranding, I'm changing everything.
Okay.
And it has allowed me to create
something entirely new.
Yeah. And so that's that. That's
It's like
really
a blank
that.
canvas at that point.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
No, that makes sense.
yeah.
That makes sense. And I think I like what you've become,
Yeah.
because I feel like when you started, when you're starting off as a rapper, right?
Yeah.
There's a typical sound you think you're gonna do,
Right. Right.
and that's not what I like. But personally, like I've never liked rap in general.
Right.
I'm an Eminem fan.
Right. There's gonna
But
be some stuff that everybody likes. Right. It's the same. Right.
I was always like a rock, like Andrew.
Yeah. Right.
Andrew really does. You don't get into Andrew's car and there's
Yeah.
Jay-Z
Yeah.
playing.
He's got like one Biggie song he likes.
Yeah.
One, you know what I mean?
Was he the one you're going to see Dune with?
Different Andrew. I was supposed to see with Andrew Lane too. But
Every
he
time
didn't
I
read the
call
book.
Andrew,
Yeah.
by the way, every time I'm like, hey, want to go see a movie? Yeah, I'm not for these 2 weeks though.
Right.
I'm like, I'm not waiting 3 weeks to see this movie, man.
Yeah. My whole thing is the fact that I see the movie the day they come out.
Yeah.
So if you're not coming, you're
Yeah.
not coming.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm like, I'll pay. All you have to do is come to the theater.
Yeah.
And
It's
he's like, yeah, but these 2 weeks you can't do.
yeah,
I'm
but
like,
he-
come on, Andrew.
I know, but he gets up at like 4:00 in the morning for work every day. I mean, he's tired. I call him sometimes. I'll call him at like 8:30 at night, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to sleep.
Oh, he's one of
So
those
it's like,
guys,
oh
man.
yeah, if you're, it just is what it is now. So it's like,
I mean, I get
oh,
up at
yeah, we're gonna
5,
go-
6 o'clock every day.
Well,
And
but you're a different breed.
I am a different breed. I wake up early and go to sleep
You're
late.
an animal.
Yeah,
I
I live off like 6.
What's that term? The sleepless elite. Is
Yeah.
that what they call it? Yeah.
I sleep like 4 to 6 hours a night. That's why I'm always so miserable.
Right.
Maybe.
You're just so on edge.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. That could be it. No. So I remember last time we started talking about the Snyder Cut,
Yes.
and we never actually finished that talk.
Yeah.
So I mean, what did you think of that movie?
Honestly,
It's a real redundant conversation at this point.
right. But you know
But-
what? Like I went back and I rewatched it again, and then the Justice is Gray edition. Just because it can't, I'm like, gotta watch it, right?
It's a new way to watch
Right.
it.
It's a new
Less color.
Yeah, exactly.
There's less.
This time harder to watch.
Yes.
No, I really
See, I have a hard time with like black and white stuff, and I'm like,
right.
I never watched it.
Yeah, it was
I watched like 3 minutes of it, and I was like, okay, I get it.
yeah, it was cool. It was fine. But I rewatched the original Snyder Cut, the original non-original version. And
It's pretty hard.
Whichever.
Differentiation.
Yeah, the one. Honestly, I liked it. I thought, yeah, it's long. You need an intermission in the middle. For the most part, you're gonna have to, eat something, use the bathroom, whatever.
Step away for a moment to like be like, "Ugh,
Right.
oh, I'm in real life again.
Yeah, because there's a lot
Like
happening.
Dune is 2 hours and 40 minutes,
Yeah,
and it's a long 240. I'll
Right.
give it. It is a long 240.
right.
But the Snyder Cut, you don't. I for some reason every time I watch, I'm like, I can't believe this is 4 hours. Because for me, it goes by like that.
Right.
You know,
Right. It doesn't feel like an eternity, and I'll give it that too. It's long, but it's not excruciating. It's not
the
like
story like brings you with it.
right. The Irishman is one that was like excruciatingly.
Scrooge
It felt
was.
like that felt like 6 hours. You know.
I got through 20 minutes of that movie. I'll be honest.
Really.
Yeah, I hated it.
Really.
I was like, I can't watch this movie.
Maybe it's because I just give guys the benefit of the doubt when I'm like, it's the old dudes, the band's back together, they're making another mob movie. Cool. But yeah, man, I mean, it's just like by the time you get to the end of it, you're like, can he just die? Can he just kill the guy? And then it's not, and then he's not, it's the end of that movie. It's like, and he's still old in an old folks home, and we're going to have his interaction with like his caregivers. And you're like, oh my God. Oh my God. It's a mob movie. No, Snyder Cut. Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was.
Would you
want
to see Zack's ideas really like, because I don't know, do you know the situation?
No. Well, I mean,
so he's moved on from DC.
Right.
Due to them forcing him out.
Right.
Using the death of his daughter as a way to fire him.
Right.
And the fans want him to come back.
Right.
And work for like, imagine having an abusive employer, right?
Right.
One that treated you terribly.
Right.
And you leave, you find this new, because he's with Netflix now, and he's happy, I assume, making good money, and he's got all the creative freedom he wants.
Right.
But the fans are telling you, no, go back and work with the abusive employer because we want it.
It would have to be one of those situations. If
he does want to do it.
Right. If I was him, I would assume it'd be like, all right, fine. It's on my terms. The people have told you what they want. If you're not going to let me do what I want to do and treat me the way that like Netflix treats its people, then like pound sand, if I can imagine that it's probably just this weird situation for him. I couldn't even imagine, but
they're about to be done anyway. So Warner Brothers got bought basically by Discovery. They're merging Discovery and like the channel. Remember Discovery?
Discovery?
Discovery bought
Warner Brothers.
Basically bought it. Bought WB.
Wow.
And all of its.
Wow.
Yeah. Though AT&T just acquired Warner Brothers a few years ago. So we're already, I know it's really hard. HBO Max might get a name change 1 year after its creation. It's going to be hard, but they might use this new merger. There's a new guy coming in,
right?
David Zaslav, and he wants to mend broken bridges is what the terms he used.
Okay.
The number one broken bridge I think of is that bridge,
right?
The Zack Snyder bridge,
right?
And for Discovery coming in, they know Batman and Superman in the collection of heroes that come with that are definitely one of the biggest IPs that they have.
Right.
So would you be interested in seeing more of Zack Snyder's DC?
Yeah, of course. I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, the guy's
a lot of people don't like it. They don't like where he's gone with Superman. They don't like his casting for, they didn't like Ben Affleck originally, even though Ben Affleck wins like all those polls that like, who's the best Batman? He wins every single one of them, yet it feels like he has the most hate.
I don't understand. Well, maybe it's just that I mean, any attention is attention, right? But Ben Affleck, I didn't mind Ben Affleck.
I love him as Batman.
Really? I mean, I thought there were like some like where like, well, what's your superpower? He's like, I'm rich, and he's like the cool, like, it's like
he looks like Batman, man.
Right.
And I just had the guy that doubled for him.
Oh,
mind you. Like his stunt professional,
right?
Richard Citrone, who is also like a professional actor, he's the lead zombie in Army of the Dead,
right?
The one with the long hair.
Yep.
He's worked on movies like Iron Man, Captain America: Civil War, every Zack Snyder film, literally, except the one animated Rise of Gaul.
Right. Right.
He's been at the 300. All those Watchmen. He's literally the coolest guy, and he did all the double for Batman. Ben. Yeah. And that Batman is just the Batman from the comics. Like,
right.
It's like that you took him off the page,
right?
And he's just a big, brutal, nimble.
Right.
You know,
Right.
Christian
Well, but
Bale was.
that's-
I always felt Christian Bale was kind of too small,
Yeah.
skinny,
And I feel
not
like
short, but skinny.
I feel like honestly, and people might hate me for this, but I thought the third Christian Bale Batman was the best one. I liked, was it Rise of the Dark Knight Rises or
Yeah,
whatever?
with
I
Bane.
thought that was better than the Heath Ledger one. So I apologize to everybody for that.
I think
but
the whole trilogy is kind of lame.
really,
Yeah.
well, all right, but we're coming from a different place, right? You're
Right.
coming from a place of somebody who knows what it's supposed to be, and I come.
Well,
from a
I
place,
liked it when it came out because
Right.
it was the best we had live action. But then once I saw Ben and what Batman could be on screen, then when I go back to try to watch it, I'm like grossed out by it.
Really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't get
It's
that
weird
same
too
feeling.
because I never thought that would ever happen to me.
I don't get that same feeling. I mean,
I'm like, this isn't Batman. Like, this could be James Bond and it would be the same movie. If you took Batman out and replaced him with General Spy number 3, it would
Well,
still
there
be
was
the
some of
same
that-
movie.
there was some of that was like a little bit of a stretch in those movies. But I will say, like I said, for Ben, I liked it. I was
People
pleasantly
hate when I say
surprised.
that.
But you know what? Like the whole thing with Batman is like he is supposed to be kind of slow, right? He's supposed to, he's a big guy, he's kind of tough. He can take a hit, but it's mostly the money. And but I like the
Well,
vibe. I like how Ben
Nah,
did it. And I'm actually a big fan of like most of the stuff that dude's been doing lately. Really.
Yeah.
He's a good, middle-aged guy. He was a shit 20-year-old. Excuse the language.
No,
but he's a
was.
great 50-year-old.
I really connected with Ben because of he's an alcoholic.
Yep.
I'm an alcoholic.
Mhm.
We're both from this area.
Yep.
Like I really
Right.
do connect with. Like I love Ben Affleck. So, I might be biased, but I do think that he's one of the most talented actors on the planet. And when he sets his mind to something, he really
Yeah.
he becomes that thing.
Yeah. The
And-
Way Back was really convincing. That was a
Yep.
really good movie. He does a lot of
That's
really
the one
great
where he's
stuff.
like an alcoholic, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
basketball
the basketball coach. Yeah.
Yeah, that one was like that one did I did enjoy that. Or Triple Frontier.
Triple Frontier was dope. Yeah.
People
I wanna
didn't
s-
like that. That was another one people didn't really like. And I'm like,
Yeah. There's that other movie out, I think, with him right now. I always forget. Is he in The Last Duel?
yeah, The Last Duel. Yeah.
Because there's another movie I mix it up with all the time, and it can't. The Green Knight
Oh,
that just came out.
Yeah,
I was
right.
mixing those up.
Yeah, The Last Duel is
The
one
Last
with
Duel's out
Ben
now. I
Affleck.
just saw it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the Ridley Scott.
Yeah, and he's dope and he's blonde. It's so hard to take
Yeah.
it seriously
I've
at first.
seen like shots of it, and I'm
so
like,
hard to take
really?
it seriously. I'm like, oh
Yeah,
god,
yeah, right.
blonde feck.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
Whew. No, but you get used to it, and it's a really good movie. It's a really good movie. It was a slow burn, but it was good. It's
I'm a
good.
big Ridley Scott fan. We just watched Alien this morning.
Really?
Yeah. Like I said, we're doing like horror movies. My wife hasn't seen Alien, and I'm like, okay, we're watching Alien
Yeah. Oh.
because you got it. But Ridley Scott.
Did you like the Prometheus and then Alien Covenant? The direction they went.
Yeah, I liked Prometheus. I didn't love it. Right.
It could be a hard watch.
It could be a hard watch. Alien Covenant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
thought Prometheus was cool. I thought the premise was like all right. But I give people a lot of slack. But I loved what was the Raised by Wolves on HBO
I was
Max?
just gonna bring that up. My God,
Did you hate or love it?
I didn't know whether I did
Right.
the first through.
Right.
I'm like, did I hate it?
Right.
I
'Cause
can't
there
tell.
were yeah,
I can't tell.
I really
honestly.
I'll tell you this, like I
It's
was
defi-
entertained and I wanted to know what was happening, right? And there were so many pieces of it that I
Season 2
really
looks
liked.
so crazy.
I can't wait. Honestly, I really can't wait. But it was another one of those things where it's like the end of that season, you're like, wait, there's this flying snake
Yeah.
thing that was and you're like, holy. But I get so into that. I love
Me
that
too.
weird stuff.
I like slow burn stuff.
Yeah.
Like something that takes you time and energy and mind, like you need to think to get through it.
Yeah.
Like Seven,
Right.
those kind of style things where you're like anything Ridley Scott does basically.
Right.
He such a genius.
Yeah.
As far as not being able to just tell a story,
Right.
but tell a story that you're trying to piece together.
Exactly.
Because you know, like some movies, the audience will know everything already.
Right.
There's no twist.
Right.
The characters don't know.
Right.
We know. We're just waiting for them to figure it out.
Right.
And that's
Right.
the movie.
Right.
When you need to think to get through it,
Yeah.
those are the films that I enjoy.
Right.
Dune does make you feel like that.
Right.
So
Well, Dune has a lot of those themes, right? It's a lot about like religion and like differences, like gender roles is like a weird theme that's like not such a huge part of it, but it's in there. And you know, they have the whole like the hero complex and what does it mean like when you have this sort of like religious messiah, you know, and how the messiah himself feels about that.
right.
You know, all those themes that I'm like, I love digging into that, but then there's other people that don't want to think about that at all, and they'd rather just like, you know, just tell me what's going on. I want to be able to play on my phone while the movie's playing and still
Yeah.
understand what's going on. But
It's never been me.
there's
When I watch something, like I really get into it.
yeah, you know what really disappointed me? I don't know if she's watching right now.
This is a weird time.
Yeah,
So, I've never done it this early. Like
yeah,
I have, but it's Sunday. A lot of our viewers are West Coast,
right.
so it's like 11.
Yeah, and it's football. Football's happening.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on. I get it, but if my wife is watching, I am so disappointed that you didn't want to finish watching 28 Days Later.
Don't worry about it.
Oh
Don't worry
no!
about it.
Come on.
See you later. There are better ones.
Well, you know what? You know what's funny about that is that like because it like I don't know how low budget it was when they made it 20 years ago or whatever. But 20 years ago it felt a lot higher quality than it
Yeah.
does when you watch it now, and you're like, wait, hold
Like
on.
even when
turn
you
the
go
volume up.
watch, even when you go watch, like something like not Army of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead. Zack Snyder made that movie, and it's like, you still even go back to it, and you're like, like it's great, but some movies, the problem is time doesn't age well with it. Like
Right,
we've progressed so far past it technology wise
right.
that it's like hard to watch. For me, that's Star Wars. I
Yeah.
cannot go back and watch those three movies
Yeah, right.
without literally having to tape my eyes open.
I know. We put that was another one where we put the those ones on, and I ended up just passing out. And you feel bad about it, but you're like, yo, the audio is weird. It's washed out. I can't hear some of the stuff that they're saying or this or that.
You
You
can
know?
like see strings. You're like, "Oh,
Yeah,
come
it's
on,
like get it together, guys.
get it together, 70s.
Yeah, right.
God.
By the way, yeah, Rob Rourke, if you're still in here, what's good, dog? Yeah, so 28 Days Later, I really did like it. I was a big fan, and I'm a big fan of that guy in general, all of his work. Geez, another guy who I don't know why I'm not remembering his name, but
What movie?
28 Days Later, Ex Machina, more recently, he
Oh,
did the show
God.
Devs.
I know who it is, but
I think he deserves to, you know, get some sort of reprimand for Annihilation, which people really
that's a dude.
yo, but read the book. And this is where like I'm the idiot that reads books sometimes, right? And I'm not a big reader. It's not Danny Boyle was the director, he was the screenwriter of 28 Days Later. Is who I'm referencing. What's his name? If you do Ex Machina, it'll pop right up.
Yeah. This is why I usually have like someone here with me.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have somebody like texting me, like my buddy's gonna be like, "Hey, idiot."
What was he doing? Oh. No.
Alex Garland. Yeah,
Is it Alex Garland?
Alex Garland wrote 28 Days Later.
What?
Annihilation, the book.
He did Annihilation too?
Yes, and he left out the whole point of why
That movie
the story,
freaks me out.
because it's weird.
On like a deep level, it freaks me
Yeah,
out.
it's weird, but like there's a whole reason why the book and the story is called Annihilation, and he did not include that in the movie. And I just wanted to jump through the screen and strangle him.
Really?
Yes,
There's
there's
a-
a
Dude,
there's a
you know
whole
what?
reason for it.
There's this crazy, like, I Am Legend, right?
Mhm.
One of my favorite movies of all time. The source material, it screwed it up so bad.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
screwed it
Right.
up so bad.
Right.
And you're like, I don't even want to think about
Right.
how bad the adaptation is.
Right.
The movie might be good to stand
And
alone,
that's right. Exactly.
but when you find out what the source material was supposed to be, you're like, no.
Right. And I was so disappointed in Annihilation because I loved Ex Machina. I love Alex Garland. He's another one of those guys where most of the stuff that he does, I'm a fan of. Loved Devs. Thought that show was like incredible. But man, oh man, Annihilation. It's like you left out 2 or 3 of the main things that made that story so good. And although the movie might be great and it's got great ratings and people love it, if you read the book, you would hate it with
Oh
a
my God,
passion.
yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
one of those ones. So, but what I'm hearing about Dune is the opposite of if you read the book, you're going to feel satisfied. It really does
A
get
lot
what
of
you
people are
wanted to
hating
get.
on it.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm seeing
A lot
good
of-
reviews, but then
Yeah,
again,
yeah. The reviews, critic wise, are great.
right.
Maybe even actually, let's check it out. But I know people online, because everybody online's so happy.
Right.
For everything they don't like it for is why I do like it. It's not overly action packed.
Right.
There's a good, slow, good story.
Right.
It's not watered down by these overly exaggerated action sequences
Right.
and CGI sequences.
And that was the whole book. The whole book, I mean, 2/3 of the book, or rather, I'll say this, 1/3 of the book is him and his mom like walking through the desert,
Yeah.
yeah, with nothing else happening. There was like a few little like spurts of action, but the rest of it,
So on IMDb, 'cause I don't really like Rotten Tomatoes.
right.
It has an 8.3 out of 10. I gave it a literal whole 10
Point.
points higher than this.
Right. Right.
That's crazy. I'm going to rate it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, come on.
Yeah. It's
But, okay. So,
but you know what, people, and that's another thing. People need to like grow up a little. Like grow up. It's not going to be action the whole time. There's more to this story.
but
than
Marvel
that.
movies have changed.
Well, that was weird. For anybody who didn't hear that, a door just shut.
We've had some weird
But
stuff
there's-
happen.
Sell the house. Sell the house. It's time to move.
Dude, anytime someone's with me and something happens, I'm just like, don't even worry about it. It's just the wind.
Oh,
But I've slept down here plenty of times to know maybe it's not okay.
the wife is watching. She said 28 days later was lame.
So it was just like those kind of horror movies I can't get into.
Yeah.
Did you watch that new Halloween Kills?
We're about to. We hung
Word
on.
on the street is it's so good.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good because Halloween, obviously the original Halloween, it like started, a lot for a lot of people. And I thought it was a great flick. So we were really looking forward to watching Halloween Kills. And I
Yeah.
haven't watched it yet, but it's
A
spooky
lot. Did you
season.
watch that 2018 one?
No,
So you need to watch that first.
you do.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Because this one, it's Halloween 1
right.
is canon,
Right.
and then they skip over everything
Yes.
and then go to Halloween 2018
Right.
and then this one.
Okay.
Those are the 3 that
Right.
they're trying to fit together.
Got it.
Everything else after Halloween 1 doesn't exist until 2018.
Perfect.
And then this one, that's so that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that
That's
make
good.
sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're pretty much like retconning it all.
Did you watch the 20?
I hate everything that they ever did with Halloween
Yeah.
after the first one.
Right.
Like
Because it's not good.
Jason in space.
Yeah,
Not
Jason
Jason.
X.
No,
Jason
that's
X.
different,
Jason
but-
in space. That was those. That's another one where we were just like watching a bunch of those like late 90s, early thousands Jason versus Freddy, Jason X, like just horrible, worst cinematic experiences ever. But like then you think about when you actually watch it when you were like 13 and you're like, this is so sick.
Oh yeah.
This
Oh,
is
yeah.
so sick.
yeah.
I can't wait though. Yeah. All right. So that's good. So we'll go back because we're in spooky movie time. We're Ashley, if you're still watching. Oh, Trilogy.
H2O is not
Oh,
good.
Integrity's helping us out here.
So the new trilogy is like the new Halloween 2, 3, and 4.
Got it.
Yeah. So Halloween 1 exists,
Mm-hmm.
and then 2018 Halloween Kills, and then there's gonna be one last one,
Nice.
probably called Halloween Ends.
Right. Halloween
I don't know.
dies.
Yeah, Halloween dies
Finally.
forever.
Yeah, right.
Halloween forever.
Yeah.
Every day.
You know what I watched? Was
Some
the-
horror movies are just so bad. If you're like,
Yeah.
you know what really freaks me out?
Yeah.
Me and my ex, we used to do this thing called like bad horror movie night,
Yeah.
and we would like pick a stupid one on Netflix. One day we came across that movie Devil,
Yes.
the one that takes place in the elevator.
Yeah.
And we thought it was like some B movie.
Right.
Dog, that movie.
That was Shyamalan.
Yeah, we didn't know. I didn't look at any of the information. I
Yeah,
just saw it on Netflix. It's like,
Was it good? I didn't watch it.
bro, I can't even get in elevators with old women anymore.
Really?
Nope.
Really?
If they get on, I'll get off. I can't do it
Ding
anymore.
Dong, man. I love that guy. Well,
Did you watch
How-
that movie Old? No, because you haven't seen anything.
no,
So
old. You're talking about
the new film that just came out, Old,
Oh yeah, no.
with M. Night. Well, M. Night did it.
Oh no. All right. No, I watched the trailer for. I have not seen it.
I
yet.
didn't see it yet either. So
All
don't
right.
worry.
You know what? God, Split, decent flick. But
Yeah.
then he found a way to just ruin it with what's it called?
Glass.
Glass.
Yeah.
Thanks for ruining everything, dude. That
Ru-
guy
that was
really
a
knows
rough
how to
one.
like ruin stuff.
Yeah.
He knows how to make a great movie, and then he knows how to like ruin what could be something great.
Yeah, a lot of his stuff, like people just like don't like. Did you like what am I looking like this? It's not same person, but like movies like Cloverfield. Like I group a lot of those.
Right.
Like there's like District 9,
Right.
Cloverfield, those kind of
Right.
movies
Yeah. Right.
that I group together. Cloverfield, though, have you seen all of them? Like there's the original Cloverfield.
Yep.
Then there's 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Right.
Then there's Cloverfield Paradox,
Yeah.
which I thought was dope. I
Ah,
thought it was
You know,
dope.
all right, here's my hangups with Cloverfield Paradox is that was oh god, another one. Jeez, why am I forgetting everybody's name? JJ Abrams.
Yes.
He didn't
JJ
write Cloverfield Paradox or 10 Cloverfield Lane. He just,
produced
it, right?
Bad Robot. His production company did it.
Yeah. But Cloverfield Paradox to me felt like it shouldn't have had Cloverfield in the name. I like the movie, but I feel like it was one of those things where they're like, put Cloverfield in it. And if we say Cloverfield
Why,
once in the movie, then
You
we're
don't
going to
think
call
that
it a
it tied it
Cloverfield
all,
movie.
the 10 Cloverfield Lane story to the original story, to
It-
all of it?
I think it does loosely, but what it felt like to me was they picked up a script out of the pile and they were like, I like this. If we tweak a couple parts of it, it would make sense in the Cloverfield universe.
Okay.
That's my thinking. Again, like
People
the
want
movie.
a direct sequel to Cloverfield. That's what people really want right now. Is a direct sequel. Like,
I think
even though
people
10
put too much-
Cloverfield Lane was good,
right.
they don't want that as part of the series. They want a direct sequel to the original shaky cam.
I don't know.
That one.
I don't know. I would say no
Really?
to that. I would say don't do that again because you should do something different. Because you already did that, and I don't want like another shaky camera.
Well, no, it doesn't have to be shaky cam.
No, I know, but like a
they
self
want
shot.
just a direct sequel. No matter what form that takes, it could be
Right.
shot exactly like Dune.
I mean, you do kind of want to know what happens with that monster, and the way that they like, and this is again what I think was cool about Cloverfield, the first movie, is that all the theories around it, like, oh, it was this thing fell from the sky and this and that, and then 10 Cloverfield Lane happens. It doesn't give you any answers as to what happened in the first movie, but it does say there's this sort of attack happening and it's like extraterrestrial or whatever,
Right.
and then Cloverfield Paradox kind of like ties it all together in a way that says like,
Damn, it has such a bad score. 5.5.
yeah,
People
I-
really hated this, huh?
because it just didn't. I think everybody was thinking it was going to be something that it wasn't, and it wasn't written by the same people. I think it was just, it had a name slapped on it. and I thought it was a good movie, but when you put Cloverfield was so game changing, and 10 Cloverfield Lane was such a solid movie.
It was. It really
was
really,
like
really was.
it was like because it was so different, but it was still so good that anything that it's gonna have this sort of expectation tied to it when you put the name Cloverfield on it, and people are just gonna get disappointed. You know, they'll find reasons to get disappointed by anything. And though I liked the movie, again, I don't know if I want to, you know.
I wouldn't mind seeing like a direct follow up.
Yeah,
Like, and just seeing where the
wanna
original story was supposed to go.
that, and
You
I
can't imagine that this is what they planned.
I want something that like J.J. Abrams a little bit more involved in, something that he has a little bit more, give it a little bit, just,
I
because
love his mystery box style.
right,
So like you really like
exactly.
with Lost.
Right.
I mean, Lost is still
Yeah.
one of the greatest shows
Yeah.
of all time.
Right.
If not the greatest show.
Blow my
of all
mind a
time.
little bit.
Yeah. Really take me in and just spit me back out, like mind wise, right? Like I like when I go into something and I can't guess every single thing.
Right.
And J.J. Abrams, I think, does a really good job at making you ask questions.
Yeah.
Some of them you find the wrong answer to.
Right. Exactly.
And that's not a bad thing.
Right.
You come out at the end, you're like, oh my God.
Like, whoa.
I can't even believe that.
And that's what I'd want to see. If they were going to do Cloverfield again, if they were going to do another one, give it that treatment. Like really like lean into it, make it something that's going to, blow my mind a little bit. And like excite me and make me feel satisfied. And to do that, I think the J.J. Abrams touch really needs to be like on it. Or they're going to have to find some like really, really talented people to take the helm a little bit, but
yeah. So we got a couple more minutes. So where, like you said, you said Spotify.
Yep.
But how many songs are on this album?
This one's 7 songs. The last one was also 7 songs. The next one's gonna be 7 songs, and then I'm gonna do a bigger thing. And it's this whole, it's called like the Cinder Block Project. So I don't want to give away too much because I like these crazy movies and I want my sort of music to kind of, it's never going to be that, but I'd like it to sort of like tie into these sort of like themes. And so the theme of like the cinder block and of like, dumping somebody out of a boat and drowning somebody and becoming something new, and cinder block can weigh you down or you can use it to build up. And
right.
So there's this there. So, so 7 songs. This edition is Fish Out of Water. This album was produced entirely by Phenom, Beats by Phenom, at Beats by Phenom. Look him up. The dude's crazy. And then the next one is going to be produced by kind of like a hodgepodge of people. It's out everywhere. Spotify, Apple Music. The video is on YouTube. We're working on another video is going to be coming out. So yeah, tons of cool
stuff. We're gonna
make
the director's cut.
We're gonna make the director's cut. We're gonna do the
the
Roberts cut.
Yeah, it's gonna be the 20-minute cut.
Yeah, exactly. You know what's cool too? I actually really, really, really wanted to do something where it was like you put out a project, a musical project, like an EP, something 20 minutes long, and have video to go with everything, and not even have it be.
That's what they do now, right? Is
yeah.
Like big stars, like every video has this music video attachment.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Like, or video style attachment.
Right. Yeah, they'll do some
production of each is probably a little bit less, but in total, they have that money.
What I'm really thinking about though is like a 20-minute to a half an hour show that doesn't even have to have the music playing, but have the story of this show be the story of the music. So there might be little snippets of music playing, at some points in time, but it's actually a story. Cause man, I've always had this like idea of like making a video, like a story, with music that supports the story. But it's a very
Eminem thing to do.
Yeah. But like a video that's not just a 20-minute music video, like a 20-minute sort of like short story.
Just told musically.
Yeah, told
Yeah.
musically or something that just like they support each other. So yeah,
That sounds
man.
really fun.
Yeah,
That sounds
man.
really cool, man.
Yeah.
And what's so you're on Instagram at
Yeah.
at
At
underscore
st
period
ILL
underscore and
because I don't want anybody to find me
ever.
because why would I make it easy to
I was like typing it. I was like, this can't be right.
yeah, exactly.
This
You know,
can't
it's
be
funny
right.
when I
was like, I can't even type this. Like
so-
my fingers won't even work this way.
this show promoter in general, music promoter, sort of like the guy in Boston, Leeds, he you know, posted up one of my things, and he tagged like at still Evan, and it turns out to be like a dead page, like some dude that made it like in 2015
Right.
and never posted anything type of deal. And I had to hit him up and be like, yo, and he's like, why wouldn't you just have a normal handle? I'm like, I don't know, I should change it, but I'm too deep.
I'm too deep in it now. There's no getting out of it.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
sorry. But yeah, but then you're
Yeah.
on Facebook as well.
Yep.
But you're not on Twitter.
I am on Twitter, but like not really. Like I feel like Twitter's kind of like weird around here. I feel like I don't know about
We
you.
use it a lot. I love it.
I post, you know, I've been, now that like people like some blogs and stuff have picked up this project, like I've been on Twitter because that's like where people are finding me. But
I went to tag you and I was like, oh wait,
and
he's
that
not a
one's
Twitter guy.
and that's at _ST_ILL
underscore. Oh my lord, the underscores. You brutalized the underscore, man. Is it
I
supposed to
really-
be like arms?
No, I really just need to redo it, but I'm not gonna, because I'm not ready to.
yeah.
yet.
Yeah. Well,
You
you
know?
can't rebrand a third time.
No, but you know, you can change the
No, the handle.
Yeah, I'll change the handle.
No, you don't
but-
change it. Once you know it though, it's like
Oh, but right.
It's whatever. But yeah, so guys, definitely check out his video.
Yep.
I'll link it all, and then follow him on Spotify, right? Or
Yeah.
Apple Music, whatever you use.
Anything.
A lot of
you
people
yeah.
use Spotify these days.
Spotify's the big one. I think that has like 70% of the market. Like Apple Music has like 20-something% of the market, and then the rest is
These smaller
yeah,
individual.
Deezer and
Yep.
Tidal. I think has like 0.01% of the market.
Yeah, I got Tidal
Amazon
free.
Music.
And
Yeah.
I never used it.
Amazon Music is actually one that's getting a little bit more popular, just because everybody has Amazon Prime.
Yep.
And like the Alexas in their house.
Right, right.
So it's been
Okay,
one.
yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, anywhere. Still Evan.
Fish Out of Water. is
Fish
the
Out of
album.
Water is the album.
Nice.
The single is Jumped Out the Lake.
It's kind of weird because we both grew up on. Did you do that on purpose?
Yeah, Lakeside.
Okay.
yeah.
We both grew up on the lake.
It's
in-
kind of
in
like a
this town.
story about like because you realize like how like all of my bad habits and addictions and everything is tied to being in that neighborhood.
God,
And all my
really, though.
shitty experiences is tied to the Lakeside.
We had some good times, but
Yeah, but then when you think about it, it's
but
like
we were all
everybody's
degenerate alcoholics.
exactly. And-
Eventually, gonna figure it out.
yeah, and I'm not 100% sober nowadays, but it's not that. And I feel like since I left that behind, so that's the whole story to this installment, is like getting out of that, leaving it behind, killing the old version of yourself and moving on and being better. So
Yeah, I like that.
yeah,
I could definitely recognize. I can identify with that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because I mean, literally, I had to get out of there, or I was gonna kill myself
yeah, for
like-
sure,
somehow.
for sure.
Like I couldn't imagine growing up in Billerica and staying in the same neighborhood and like raising my kids again there. Like I
Yeah.
can't do it. I
When
can't.
we were looking for houses, we looked in Billerica briefly, and then I went to a Market Basket to pick some stuff up while we were there, and I was like, maybe we don't live here. Maybe we actually don't come back here. And then the market changed. And you're like, oh, you know, funny. We can't afford to live in Billerica for some weird reason.
Isn't that crazy too?
Yeah.
Right. That.
Yeah.
Billerica is one of the more expensive towns, and I'm like, you ever been there?
Right.
It's
Kind of a shithole. Yeah.
Like, I would rather live in Chelmsford or Tewksbury.
Yeah.
Even Bedford. Bedford's actually really nice. though.
Yeah. Bedford's nice. Carlisle. But that's the thing, is that anyway.
Yeah.
You know, we
any-
don't,
yeah.
you know.
Whatever. But yeah, so check them out. Check them out. Check the new video out. And then we'll have you back soon. Next time you can come. You know, we'll love to have you.
Ashley needs the shake. We need the
We
shake.
need the shake for
the
the
Cloverfield shake.
Cloverfield shake. Listen,
Uh,
I wouldn't mind shaky cam.
If it's
But-
all right, I'll say it. If it's done right. All right, I'm gonna leave it at that. If it's done right, I'll get down with it. Thanks for having me, man.
Of course, anytime.
Oh man,
Anytime.
What's our sign off?
We do it for you.
We do it for the culture.
Yeah, man.
Let's go.
See, now I know he's legitimate.
Come
Now I
on.
know he's legit.
Come on now.
I love it.
Do it for you. Do it for the culture.
Damn, do it one more time.
We do it for you. We do it for the we do it for the culture.